Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to be talking about a topic that, again, I wasn't planning to talk about this topic, but I got asked by my fellow subscribers, some good friends of mine. It was a topic that last night at Locals we discussed thoroughly because the list had just come out, and that is the ARG ban list, my thoughts on it, things of that nature. I've read, I kind of understand for the most part, because over the last couple of hours I've kind of read over what people have said on different sites on Facebook and on everywhere. So I've been looking into what people's opinions are, watching YouTube videos of other YouTubers, and when I first saw the list I thought honestly it was the original ban list, and then I kind of looked at it, I said this doesn't look like a Konami ban list. It looks like something a player would come up with. And I'm going to say some things before I start this video. I may be a little bit biased to this video. This video may become a rant, and I apologize for that. It's not supposed to be a rant, but it may become one to some degree, so I do apologize for that. This video will be long, and I'm just going to voice some of my opinions and thoughts on this topic, because a lot of people say different things about it, and I don't agree with it. Agree with some of their opinions. So let's, without further ado, go over the list. ARG, at first I'll just say this. A lot of people think that, this list is amazing, that it's great, it's amazing type of list. And people say, well, this is a better list than anything that Konami can come up with, from what I've heard. It does what Konami doesn't want to do. And the fact of the matter is, I think, and personally believe, that at the end of the day, nobody's going to care about 2 cents about this ARG list. That's my personal opinion, and I really think that is going to be fact in about a month. Whenever the Konami ban list comes out, whatever that is, I mean, I'm recording this on Thursday afternoon. The ban list for Konami has not dropped yet. I don't know when it's going to come out. That's another topic for a different day, but I don't think it's going to have long-reaching implications. I think this is something that's going to last one format, and then we're never going to hear from it again. I think it won't be as big of a deal. Right now it's a big deal because ARG, next to Konami itself, is kind of a premium thing in North America. And another thing I say is why this is not going to have long-range implications, this ARG ban list, before I get into the ban list itself here, is ARG doesn't work in Europe. People in the US, I know there's a big community in the United States, but there's also a big Yu-Gi-Oh community that plays Yu-Gi-Oh competitively in Europe. And I know nobody's brought this up yet, really, and I'm surprised of that. Now, I haven't seen no European Yu-Gi-Tubers talk about this ARG ban list per se yet. They may in the future, Alinthio, somebody else may do it, but it's not going to affect them whatsoever, because ARG doesn't do events over there. It's going to not matter. The Konami list is going to matter more because over there, Konami's ban list means more. I mean, I don't know if there's an organization like ARG over in Europe. I don't know that. But I'm just saying it doesn't matter. You're cutting half of the TCG community out of the equation, including the South American players, the Latin American players, Canada, because I don't think they do it. I mean, they may do one event in Canada, ARG does, but that's what I'm saying. Plus, ARG is based, I think, in Ohio, so they don't really always go to the West Coast as much. So I don't see it having far-reaching implications. Now onto the ban list itself. Daijin Releaser, Fusion Gate got banned, Laval Chain got banned, Trishula got banned. By the way, I got it on my computer. I'm looking right at the bloody thing. Necros got banned, Magical Library, and Vanity's Emptiness. Okay, so let's work down this list here. Daijin Releaser. Yeah, okay, I can understand that, but I personally feel like because, I mean, heck, they put Dark Hole, Regeki. Personally, as a player, playing against Necros online and in real life, I haven't had that much problem. Like I said in my ban list video, I haven't had as many problems with Daijin Releaser as I really thought of before. I mean, yeah, it was a problem when people started playing it. If you want to ban it, go ahead, I don't care. I mean, I do like it in ritual-based decks, it's kind of cool, and that's what it was originally made for, but I mean, the card, there's ways of getting around it nowadays. It's not that hard, I find. I don't have as many problems with it as when it was a really serious thing back in the day. Fusion Gate. Why ban Fusion Gate? And the fact of the matter is they stated in this article that a committee was formed to create this ban list. What committee? Who was freaking in the committee? Patrick Hoban and some other people? And that's where I say like that. I mean, if the players made this, there are biases. And they say that, well, they're trying, stop degenerate combos and decks. Well, I mean, heck, that's half of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's a quarter of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right there. I mean, it makes it Yu-Gi-Oh! Interesting to play wonky decks. And I don't like them. I don't like facing against them. But heck, I'm okay with living with them. Final Countdown example, even though I hate that deck. But what Fusion Gate? I mean, in the decks that play Fusion Gate, freaking, they're very inconsistent at what they do. They, the last time I remember Fusion Gate topping at a major event was about 2-3 years ago, and the guy, I think it was in Texas. It was YCS in Texas, and he topped 8. I think it was with Electra Hero OTK, and I think he ran Fusion Gate. Besides that, it's never been really consistent, and I don't understand why the fudge they banned it. It's stupid. Yeah, there's ways, but you have ways of stopping whatever play you can go with Fusion Gate. It's very easily stopped. Trishula. Why ban Trishula? They literally, I look at this list and I see the bias against Necros, but the fact is, I look at this and I say to myself, you know what's worse than Necros? Dragon Rulers. There have been other decks in the game 1,000 times worse than Necros. Necros are not, I mean, look at, North America. Look at Europe. Look at these big Weiss, championships we've had over the last couple of months. Necros didn't win the entire event. Yeah, they got in the top, but they didn't win the entire thing. They're not, I mean, you could make an argument to some degree that they're not the complete best deck of the format even. You could make an argument, not saying that they're not. I personally believe they are, but you don't need to slaughter the bloody things and take away their freaking main power card. I mean, people have even been talking about, hey, bring Synchro Trishula back because everybody's used to Trishula. I mean, yeah, you can limit it to 1. What's the problem? You get its effect 1 off. I mean, it's a game-ending card. It's their 1 power play, and a deck should have at least its power play. Take away the Daijin Releaser if you really want to. Don't ban the Trishula because you've literally made, and you've hit the Unicorn, you've hit stuff like that. You've literally killed it. Then you chopped off its head. Then you chopped off all the body parts and threw them into the sea and said, "Ha! You're dead forever." It's bias, and I don't think it's something that's necessary. Even though I hate, Necros as much as the next person, though I do love the artwork. Lavava Chain. Now this is the big thing I have with this freaking list is Lavava Chain. Like I said, there's good things and bad things. Lavava Chain, Vanity's Emptiness, and Trishula, and Mistake. I look at these things, and these are the main things I have with this list because I just see bias. I see biases in this. I just see people being like, hey, let's vote on it. Don't like that card? Hey, yeah, I don't. And the fact of the matter is also, as I ramble on here a little bit and argue, ARG is a company. People are like, well, this was made by the players for the players. ARG is a company, just like Konami. They may not be as big as Konami is, but they have an agenda. They have an agenda. You can't disagree with that. If you're running a company, you always have an agenda to some degree to make money. I don't disagree that this list maybe have, it may have had the player in mind, but it's meant to make money in some regard or help their pro players out or whatever ARG does to some degree. But saying that, Lavava Chain should not be banned. I mean, yeah, it has been in degenerate decks, but you could just hit it to 1 if you're that afraid. Are you afraid of Clown Blade that much? Are you afraid of Infernities? I mean, yeah, okay, people say, well, look at Infernities last year that topped Worlds and, did all that. Okay, they run multiple. If they run just 1 Lavava, if you limit Lavava, I don't even think you even need to touch Lavava Chain. And people may get upset and dislike this video for that reason. But you already hit the releaser. You already hit Daijin Releaser. Why hit Lavava Chain? What's gonna be the problem? The fact of the matter is, and what really gets my goat about people saying Lavava Chain should be banned, is that before Nationals, before Nationals, if somebody had brought up to the community that Lavava Chain should be banned, it wouldn't. They would have rode them out on a rail, so to speak. They would have been chastised, made fun of. Lavava Chain banned, but. After that, and after it gained momentum about people saying, oh, Lavava Chain should be banned, Lavava Chain should be banned, and one voice turns into a million, but that million just keeps repeating what one person said. It becomes a problem, and that's what I'm saying. If they had made this list probably a couple of weeks ago before Nationals, Lavava Chain, I bet wouldn't have been on the list, and Daigen Lisa would be. You're hitting. I just don't get it. It's not been a problem. I've never had a problem with Lavava Chain. There's a million ways to stop it. People say it's the thing of, degenerate plays. If you hit the damn thing to one, if you're that scared of it, it's not going to do much. It's a fine card. There's Fiendish, there's freaking Breakthrough, there's Effect Failure. There's a million freaking ways to stop that card. It's not the be-all, end-all card. It shouldn't be banned. It should be at 1, if anything, if not just being at 3, if you're really that scared of that dang card. But I won't even touch it. And that's just my personal opinion. You can disagree with it, have your own opinion, but if you've already hit the releaser, and if you're that scared of other combos, I mean, for crying out loud, there's a million ways to stop cards in this game nowadays. Sorry, little rant there. Whew, got my blood up. Royal Magical Library. Chicken Race, okay, but I thought Chicken Race was an OCG exclusive card, but whatever. Vanity's Emptiness, why? I mean, at Vanity's Emptiness at 3, I can understand, hitting it, banning it. But at 1, there's so many ways to get around the dang card nowadays. Oh, well, I can't special summon. Dark Hole, the MST's at 3, Dust Tornado. There's a million ways to get rid of Vanity's Emptiness in today's game, especially as a 1-of. You don't need to ban the bloody card. You may not like it, but it's a staple. It's not. I haven't had no problem with Vanity's this format at all. Restricted to 1. Let's see here. Burning the Brismerl Branch. Okay, I understand that. I think that's an okay hit. Like I said, there's good and bad things. It's mostly the banned section that I have a problem with and the one mistake. El Shadar Construct. Okay. Shadar Fusion. Okay. I'm okay with that. Bubble Man. Because you brought Stratos back, and that's what I say right there. I look at this list also, and I see like somebody's really having some nostalgia for 2012, except they didn't bring Insecta Hornet back or Red MD back to 2. I mean, look at these. I mean, the decks they brought, windups, freaking Rabbit, Dino Rabbit. I mean, I'm looking at it, and I feel like I'm going back to 2012. Only thing you need to do, and they even brought Chaos Sorcerer back to 3. So what I'm trying to say is, I feel like I'm going back into 2012 formats. If that's what they're trying to promote, I don't know why, but whatever. Bubble Man, I don't think you need to hit to 1 because of just the Stratos. I mean, I think Stratos could come off. Personally, I think Stratos could come off the list and it wouldn't be a bigger problem. Or if you're that scared of Stratos coming off the list, just errata the dang thing to say one little simple thing. You can use only one of its effects once per turn. You only can use its effect once per turn. You put that on dang Stratos, nobody's gonna ever complain ever again. Instant Fusion. Okay, I can understand that, but it's not even out yet, so let it have some time and then you can hit the bloody card. But even though I don't like Instant Fusion, well, I don't like Noted, excuse me, what it does, but whatever. Mistake to 1. Why? Because it's a lockdown card? Why? That's what I'm trying to say. I see bias in this list. Unicorn, okay, I agree with that 100%. Carrier, windups in Carrier, okay. Dante, okay, restricted to 2. Dragon's Ravine, okay. Insecta Hornet back to 2. Like I said, excuse me, I misspoke earlier, but I feel like I'm getting some nostalgia for 2012 format. The summer of 2012. I was 22 years old. Dragon's Ravine, Insecta Hornet, Rabbit. Are we going back to the old days of Yu-Gi-Oh, the old days? Summoner's Art, okay. That deals with Cleese. I said that's okay. Cleese have already been hit enough. People are like, well, there's other ways of doing it. Whatever. Oh, and by the way, I'm just going to add on to Lavava Chain. People, they stated that the reason they hit Lavava Chain is because of the blue-blooded Oni OTK. That OTK is a deck filled with very bad cards that sometimes you can get off and sometimes you can't. It's not completely effective, I find. Personal experience. Summoner's Art for Cleese, wind up. Torrential Tribute, why do that again? We went through this with Torrential Tribute being at 2 before. Everybody in the mother ran it. I don't need to go down that road again. Chaos Sorcerer to 3, okay. Dark Hole to 3, that scares the shit out of me, but then again, excuse my French for cussing, by the way, but I dealt with the same thing with Mirror Force, I'm over it. Glow Up Bulb, okay. Sacred Swords, okay. So, some problems I have with this list. First off, they didn't hit Stellar Knights. They didn't, I mean, cleats, people will say, well, they didn't hit cleats hard enough. Yeah, I mean, I think cleats are pretty much balanced as you're going to get for a pendulum deck nowadays. I mean, you have to understand, we are in the pendulum era. You can't completely kill a pendulum deck. Pendulum decks are going to be strong if they're based around pendulums. So you can hit Summoner's Art, they'll slow it down a little bit the rest of the day. I mean, people are like, well, Towers Turbo and stuff like that. Whatever. I mean, sometimes it can be inconsistent, sometimes it's going to be good, but I don't think it's going to be the be-all, end-all thing at the end of the day. I think there's worse things out there, and there's been worse things we've had to deal with. So, saying all that, going off at 15 minutes, rambling, I apologize if I rustled anybody's feathers. I know people are going to disagree with me about this list. I know the player base is kind of divided. I personally feel like the list is good, except a few things that I think were very biased. Lavava Chain, Vandy's Emptiness, Necros of Trishula, even though I don't like Trishula to begin with, and Mistake. And Fusion Gate as well, excuse me, I'll add that. These cards I feel like were just biased hits or just being afraid of. And from what I've seen in the development of this ARG ban list, it was put together in a couple of days. It wasn't thoroughly thought of. And we can always bash Konami for not doing a good job on their ban list, or not doing this, or because they're an organization, you know, they're trying to push new product, whatever. But at the end of the day, you have to admit this to Konami. This game has been around for going on, what now? Over 12, 13 years now. They've kept it going through upper deck scandals, through everything. They have kept this game alive for 13 freaking years. That's a freaking long time to have a successful card game. And saying that, sometimes I've always disagreed with Konami's ban list, but I feel it's more not biased. It's a business approach, and I understand that. New decks needs to come out when you hit the old decks that have been around for a while. Okay, that's fine. But this just feels like it's biased against Necros, even though I don't like the deck. It's just biased to decks in general that are just not, the Cleese maybe, I guess you could say, but definitely Stellar Knights, I think, should have gotten something touched. People say, well, Stellar Knights suck, and then, whatever. Whatever you think about the list, you can think about the list. I think it was biased. I don't think it's good. I think at the end of the day, it's a waste of breath making this 17-minute video, because at the end of the day, I mean, if you want to get to Worlds, if you want to get to big events, where are you going to go? You're going to go with the TCG ban list, the Konami ban list. I mean, I don't even go to ARG events. I've had friends go to them. They thought they were good. They thought they were okay. I thought that, they're another video for another day. We'll talk about new Yu-Gi-Oh! I thought that was an interesting idea, even though I don't like it. I thought it was an interesting take on old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Even though I didn't like it, but that's another topic for another day. So, tell me what you think about the ARG ban list. I know this is kind of a rant. My blood pressure has gone up through this video because I don't like when people are just biased to certain cards, no matter if I don't like those to be cards to begin with. Like I said, I don't like Necros, even though I love their artwork, but I will defend them just like a lawyer would defend a client that's guilty, because at the end of the day, you have to be judging. Yeah, you can make judgments, but use logic, use some common sense. Just don't be biased and have players be biased. I don't like this card, so hit it. That's what I feel like this list is. But just my thoughts. Forgive me if I got made any of you guys really super mad at me. I apologize. But that's just my thought on the list. People say, oh, you're a scrub if you don't like this list. I don't think that's the case. I think you're just being biased yourself. But I feel they could have done some good things. I think they could have done some bad things. But I think at the end of the day, this is not going to matter. Nothing going forward into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think it's going to be. I think they made it because we're fed up with waiting for the new list to come out from Konami. I think that's why it came about. But till next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling. I'll see all of you guys next time. And Seto Kaiba, I'm out of here, guys, till next time. Good luck dueling to all of you, and have a great and wonderful day. Take care, everybody.